Hello, everybody. We've all played Life is Strange 2, Episode 1. We have met the Diaz brothers. We are ready to get into this. If you have not played Life is Strange 2 yet, get out of here, because it's all going down. We're taking the cuffs off.
Get out of here.
Spoiler mode, final warning, spoiler mode, activated.
All right, thank you, everybody. Today we're joined by Michael Huber.
Hello.
Myself, Daniel Bloodworth. And we have Elyse Willems.
Thanks so much for having me, man.
We used to work with, and you and Huber went through and talked about the whole first series back in Game Trailers.
Huber and I held hands and went on this emotional journey.
Yes. My favorite memory of all time from Game Trailers was going through those games
No,
with you. Yes.
that can't be
easily. I always think back about it.
Did you meet like Hideo Kojima or something?
I mean,
No.
like on the way to the bathroom.
Oh, that I mean, it's up there for me. It's up there. It's hype.
I'm ready.
Nice. So when we getting into this, like, what were you guys feeling? Because it's like we were breaking away from the characters we already knew. We were getting into new people.
I was happy that The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit came out first, because it kind of like eased me into the idea that this is a bigger universe, that it isn't solely attached to Max and Chloe. So I think playing Spirit first, going through that whole thing, it's just a couple hours, it kind of opened the door and got me ready for Life is Strange 2.
Yeah, I, to be honest, approached it with a little bit of pessimism, skepticism.
Yeah.
Thinking I was so blown away by the relationship between these two characters in the first one, and it was so impactful. It resonated so much with me. How could they possibly not replicate but surpass that in another series? And man, I was totally wrong and should have had more faith. Absolutely.
Yeah, for me, looking at the trailer, and then which ended up being the intro to the game, it's just like, there's this, it's like, is this X-Men? Like, what is happening now?
Right?
Like,
So X-Men?
Yeah.
So that opening flashback, it sets this tone, it sets the scene, and it's perfect. Like,
It blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. It was like I just wanted to go to the Halloween party. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Once we actually get into it. Yeah. I was all prepared. I was like trying to do that. Yeah. And yeah, so the first, I guess it's the prologue, because you don't even see the title until after all the stuff at the house.
But before we get into that, we got to go back.
Sure.
To that question.
Yes.
That it asks you before you
where does everyone stand?
Where does everyone stand? Did you sacrifice? It doesn't even. It's like
it's really good about not spoiling it.
Yeah, it's like, did you sacrifice Arcadia Bay? Yes or no?
what did you do, Blood?
I did not.
You did not sacrifice it. You let Chloe live.
Wait, no, you.
So you wait. You.
If you sacrifice Arcadia Bay, Chloe lives. Lives.
Yeah. And you did not sacrifice.
Right.
So she died.
I don't even know. I have never even watched that ending.
Oh,
to know how it plays out.
Of which one?
Because, I sacrificed the town for Chloe.
Oh, okay. So you saw them.
I knew you would.
So you saw.
I love it.
I went back and watched both
forgot.
endings. But yeah, so you saw them drive off in the truck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and so the other one with Arcadia Bay Lives, it's like everyone's like basically going to the funeral. And like it goes back to the bathroom moment. She gets shot.
Dude,
then,
there's that music track playing. It is Tear Fest 101.
2016.
Yeah, it's out of control.
Man, I need to go back and watch that.
No, but it sucks. 'Cause I feel like there's no right answer there. It's like I feel like a monster.
What did
for
you do?
letting.
Oh, that's the whole point. But yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a monster. I let Chloe go. I did not sacrifice Arcadia Bay.
Yeah, I think one of the things, particularly for me when making that decision, was Chloe didn't want that. Like she was like, "Let me go, let it go," So yeah, I could just see like some off-cam moment where she was totally pissed. Like, why would you do that?
See, like, I guess I looked at it as Chloe being this like broken person that would never think that anyone would like fight for her. So I was like, no, Chloe, like, I'm going to fight to keep you here because it matters that you are still here. Like,
Dude,
it matters
I love
that
that.
everyone is, like, every person matters. I guess it's the trolley problem. But,
Totally.
plus it's also a video game, so I was like, I can destroy this town and it doesn't matter.
I love
Sure.
using video game logic to
Yeah.
justify it. It's like, all right, it's just a game.
Yeah.
Just love that.
Um,
Oh, wow. I'm so curious to see how that would influence this series, then, with your decision.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's one thing.
there's one thing here that we'll get to
That
a
we'll
little
get
bit
to.
later.
Yeah.
I am very interested if there's more later on, whether there's any crossing paths and all of that with the characters. I mean, they've talked about, Captain Spirit, we didn't see him in episode 1, so that's still to
Yeah,
come.
I'm big on dates with my lore, and Captain Spirit, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, 98% sure it's November, and this takes place in October.
Oh, okay.
So I assume
So I thought
episode 2 or 3 they'll cross.
I thought Captain Spirit took place in like 2000, like mid 2000s or something, doesn't it?
No, because it references the police officer incident.
Oh,
And
Oh, I
then,
didn't realize that.
And then also at the very end,
I could have sworn that I
see.
saw like a newspaper or calendar or something in that.
probably
but-
him like hanging onto the past of like being an athlete. His
Oh,
dad,
maybe
maybe.
that's it.
yeah.
They
Okay.
throws a lot of numbers at you. It's like I'm just OCD about that kind of stuff.
But yeah, so we get into this, and it starts off very much like what we've seen in the other Life is Strange games, where we like explore the house, and like as soon as I get that freedom, it's like, okay, I'm walking around,
Yeah.
I'm looking at every poster, I'm reading every text message, like really getting into the backstory of what's happening with them. One thing I think is really interesting is they don't want to talk about the mom, and it doesn't seem like she's dead, so it's makes me very curious, whether we're gonna see mom or not. It's like, I think the only thing in the house is like the bike hanging up in the garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we learned from our confrontation later with the bully that your mom just did leave.
Yeah.
Your family, and maybe they're thinking, we'll make our way to where our mom is. That's maybe their plan, but
Yeah.
or his plan.
But no, I mean, it sounds like no, she's just out of the picture.
She just wants no part of it.
Oh, that's a good call, Elyse. I think that.
I don't know. I would be. I don't see her coming into play, but
Yeah, they sound like they don't want anything to do with her. So
Yeah.
it would be interesting if she came in and there was that confrontation there of she's wanting to help and they don't want it and they try to get away from her.
Yeah.
yeah.
But before we even got to explore, Choco Bar. Who got the Choco Bar?
I took it.
I took it.
You put like the older brother Sean.
Yeah,
Oh, I gave it to.
you gave it to Daniel.
I gave it to Daniel. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
I just didn't want to have to choose between, so I said I'll take it. What
Yeah.
was your rationale? Is it just gluttony?
Well, I think the dialogue was kind of vague, right? It was like, "Oh, I'll be the judge" or something like that, and yeah. So
Yeah, I hate in games like this where it's like a dialogue tree and you have to decide, and the dialogue might not what you interpret it will lead you to
Right.
might not be exactly, because with the bully confrontation later,
Dude.
and
Elyse.
we can get to this, but I questioned my little brother because I thought maybe then, but it was black or white.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing where it was like question him, and I wanted a mixture of the two.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like, yo, dude, he's just a kid. Calm down.
What's your
Yo, what did
is
you
your
do? Did
story?
you get blood all
Yeah.
over him? Like, yes, totally.
So I think that's kind of the same thing where you're like, oh, I didn't realize it was going to make that hard decision for me. My favorite thing about the house, well, two things about the opening before kind of like shit hits the fan. I really like your friendship. I forget her name.
Lila.
Lila, your best friend, is really fun. She's kind of a fun character. I like her attitude.
Yeah.
And
A little bit of a rebel.
she's not Chloe like rebel status, but she still has like
She's like pressuring you, like, get money for weed, bring
Yeah.
the beer. And so, like, that's one of my things where, like, with Sean and, like, with Chloe and Before the Storm, it was like I'm torn between this, like, am I trying to role play and figure out what this character would do, or I just want to make the character a better person?
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm grabbing the soda. I told Dad that I wasn't going to spend the money on drugs, not to lie to him, but I'm like, well, when we get to the party, I'm going to keep him from
Oh, yeah, for doing that. Oh, what? I told him I was gonna
Me too.
do drugs because I was like, because another thing I love about the beginning is the dad is so great.
Yeah.
Like that man works so hard for you.
Yep.
He's such a great dad. He's such a good dude. He's like,
You can, it's just such good writing, right? You can tell the dad was kind of like you in his, kind of a rebel maybe when he was growing up, would totally go to parties. I'm just assuming this. Like, he seems like he's okay as long as you're being safe.
and he seems like a man that's probably has, he's an immigrant. His wife left him. He's raising 2 boys alone, but he doesn't seem like he puts any of that heartbreak or hardship onto his children. He's just a man that he keeps that maybe to himself. So I was like, there's no way I can lie to this man.
Yes.
There's no way I can steal money from this man,
Yeah.
from that jar in the kitchen. Like, I just need to, I just wanted him to be a good kid.
Yeah.
Which is obviously not like the fun way to play, I suppose.
Well, and then
But
it rewards you too, Blood, by telling him the truth.
Oh, it does,
He
yeah.
gave me $40.
Yeah.
How much did he give you?
Yeah, you get half. You get 20.
Oh,
Nice. Got that
So,
extra
which makes
20
things
spot.
trickier later on.
on
yeah.
the road, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. Man.
Yeah, I didn't have as much money to work with.
Economy.
I'm trying to think about what else was in there.
Well, something else that's pretty prominent in the house is Porto Lobos.
Oh
right?
yeah,
Where your
you get
dad's.
to see where your dad's from.
So is that where we're headed?
Well,
Are we
yeah,
moving
you find out
forward?
later
Border
on that that's
hopping, yeah.
kind of that becomes sort of the de facto plan. That like apparently the dad actually owns property down there,
Yeah.
and so I don't know how they're planning to claim it or anything.
Is
like
our mom
that,
is our mom down there?
Dude, it's gotta be.
I don't know.
Hmm.
Gotta be, right?
Or maybe an uncle?
Yeah.
Kind uncle.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
the thing is they don't seem to.
Kind uncle.
That's the
We
weird
need an
thing is they
uncle.
don't seem to know anybody down there. It doesn't sound like that they've taken trips down there. They say that they have like grandparents in the U.S. Somewhere, but they're also kind of estranged from them somehow. So there should be family and friends there, but they don't know them. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we ever actually get there for one, and when we do, what that part of the journey is going to look like. But the lighter that he has the crest, like the city crest.
That's right.
Nice.
So that's kind of one of the details that you see going through that backpack. So each Life is Strange game has kind of had as one of the collectibles, like these kind of artistic things that you do. Max had the photos, and Chloe had the graffiti, which I really didn't like. There's a lot of places like,
Yeah.
I don't want to leave graffiti there. I'll let that trophy go. But I really,
That's so funny.
I like Sean's sketchbook. It took me a second to get the controls.
Right? Yeah.
to
To like wiggle it around.
Yeah.
I was like, do you
Yeah.
want me to actually like start drawing here?
Yeah, I feel like that message prompt should be changed a little bit. Just
Yeah.
like continuously move the right analog stick or something like that.
Yeah.
But I like that idea of like look up and observe and then sketch it out and like get a rough sketch and just kind of fill it in piece by piece.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Those
Could-
little touches, the backpack flare, just being able to see all the contents of your backpack.
Absolutely.
Pretty fun.
And I mean, I know I'm gonna get the feels when I'm like deep into episode 4 and I'm flipping through that journal and I see a picture of my room. I'm gonna be like, oh man.
Yeah. Well, and two, it lends a lot more to like his journal as well. Like you see all these other drawings, that you don't really, you don't participate in, but that's just how he fills in all the details and his reactions, and it's really cool
Yeah.
to see, his interpretation of
Great
the characters.
Great way to get inside his head.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and him, trying to navigate the dating scene.
yeah.
Like, what do I say? Practicing in the mirror.
Yeah.
Lila telling him, probably bad advice.
Yeah. It is like it is one of those things where I, like you said earlier, I'm really bummed that I didn't get to go to the Halloween party.
Yeah.
And life comes at you fast.
Yeah.
I think is the main message of episode 1, because it happens a lot just in real life where you think that life is going to play out some way, and then it throws you a curveball and everything can be upended, upset, and you should appreciate what you have while you have it, because he lost a lot they both lost a lot in
Yeah.
like the snap of the fingers. And in one, I always think of like, this is cheesy, but like Vanilla Sky, how like the movie Vanilla Sky,
Yeah,
how like
yep.
one event can just kind of like
That ripple.
effect, and that one altercation with the bully just
Mm-hmm.
changed his whole life. But yeah, I really wanted to go to that Halloween party.
I know, right? The
Yeah.
fact that it's only been one episode and we're this invested, we have these strong of feelings. It's intense,
And you really want to protect your brother,
right?
Yeah.
because the sibling dynamic doesn't really ever do it for me that much. But in this situation, I was like, actually really, really like, I don't
Yeah.
eat those berries. Like,
Yeah.
I care whether he eats those berries or not.
Well, one of the things
you
that's
know?
interesting, was kind of funny in a way for me, is the age gap between them
Yeah.
is about the same as the age gap between me and my brother.
Oh, okay. Are you older or younger?
I'm younger.
Okay.
And I'm Daniel.
Sorry. That's funny. You take care of yourself, bud.
But yeah, so I definitely, know those times of when, I would want to be, showing my brother something, show him some toy, and he would have, like, he's 16, has no interest in this right now,
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it really hit home.
Also, my dad's a mechanic. Like, how the heck? This is weird.
It's like the dev team is like spying on your PC, just getting material.
It's so good.
It truly hit home for me, and this is skipping ahead, but when you get to the motel and you start like preparing a bath for him and being like, come on, you've got to go to bed, and you're like, and I kind of waited until the last minute possible, until he saw the news story, to tell him about what happened. Did you guys willfully tell him?
I was like, gotta tell him the second I'm able to.
Really?
I tried,
Yeah.
but it was still the same kind of thing that went
Yeah.
down.
Oh, okay. So it
Yeah.
still forces it to,
Yeah.
it has to be him observing the news story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But getting things started off, though,
Itchy trigger finger police officer.
yeah, and see, this is honestly my biggest
Dude.
criticism here, is because, it's the situation, like, even though, like, I know it's, like, referencing all this bad stuff, all these weird, terrible calls that have happened in America lately, but it's, like, the escalation doesn't feel justified to me. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, this is not how a cop would go and, like, approach a couple of kids getting in a fight.
The reason I bought that one was because of the blood, the fake blood.
Yeah.
So there's
okay.
fake blood everywhere.
Maybe.
Kids
Yeah.
on the ground unconscious.
Sure, but I still think, like, he wouldn't pull out his gun. The first thing he would do would be get on the ground, make sure he's okay. The kids would also be like, oh, hey, is he okay? They would have been freaked out.
A
by what
responsible
happened.
cop, I think, would have.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the majority of cops would not pull out, like 99.9% of cops would never pull out a gun in that situation. The most violent thing he probably would have done would have been to, like, take one of the kids, push him on the ground, and, like, cuff him right away.
I did think in broad daylight it was reaching a little bit.
Yeah.
If that had been the Halloween party that night, it was at night.
If the
and-
dad had come out with, like, a drill and something in his hand that maybe
Yeah.
could have been mistaken
Yeah.
for a
Wrench or
gun.
something.
but
Yeah. Good call.
teenagers have been shot by trigger happy police. Like it has
happens.
happened. But I know I kind of was with you where I was like, this is a little like reaching, but
The other thing
fake
to me
blood makes
too
it-
about it is, again, like the situations where this happens is, an officer feels kind of threatened for his own life and he's protecting himself, and he actually seems really freaked out. And like, why is he freaked out at all? Like,
Yeah.
a cop would just come in there. And
He was
just
so
control the
rattled.
situation. Yeah,
Yeah.
And to me, it was almost like, for that to have happened, for him to have been freaked out, like, Daniel should have done something to, like, show, like, okay, this is not normal. Like, something here is just off. Like, if Daniel had somehow, like, force pushed the guy to the ground,
Yeah.
and he'd be like, whoa, what was that?
Do you think they'll go back to it? Do you think we'll get more insight into the event? Do you think maybe the cop has a history of incidents or drug use even, or any kind of other
that could explain
factors?
something, yeah.
Or do you think it's just as we saw it is what it is.
I don't know. I feel like it's just one of those things. It's like it's brushed over because it's like, okay, you understand what this reference is.
Yeah, I felt like it was like just a catalytic event to set us in motion
Yeah.
on our path, and obviously it's making a commentary on like that this does happen, because there is a lot of that commentary just throughout the game where you know even the dad's saying like he says, you know, things are kind of scary out there in this country right now, and they face the brunt of it, and for me, like one of the things that like hateful things that I hate the most, and it happens when you're abducted by Hank Stamper,
Yeah.
that just radicalist, when he's telling Sean like go back to your country.
Yeah.
That always like infuriates me.
Yeah. Well, particularly if they've grown up here. You know?
Yeah,
Like I've had friends that have had,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
you know, have gotten like insulted or attacked because they don't know Spanish, and someone's trying to talk Spanish to them. Like, dude, I don't know
Yeah,
Spanish. You know?
I just whenever someone, because of the color of their skin, who is a born American, is told to go back to, it makes me so mad. No one tells me to go back to my country, and I'm not from here. But so it's completely racist. But yeah, like the game is definitely you know, pushing a certain commentary
Yeah.
of like.
And it like doesn't even need to be political. It's like, I just think of Roger Ebert, you know, talking about movies being empathy machines.
Yeah.
It's like, forget where your loyalties lie. It's like, just follow the ride, go with the ride, and like, you know, see the brutality of some of these, you know, of these instances.
Yeah, but I think that's where, that's sort of where I'm thrown off a little bit, is because like, you know, like I'm the like really highly empathetic, and to the point where like I'd see like every side of every situation and every subject and every topic. So that's why like when I see like this cop and I'm like, well, what's the cop's reasoning here? That's why it throws me off. And the same thing with like later on when you see the newspaper and they're called suspects. I'm like, suspects of what? Like if all these cops rolled up on this situation, like these kids would be witnesses, but they have nothing to link these kids to what the heck happened.
Yeah.
Like, there's not an explosion that happened. There's with things on fire. There's not like there's no way.
The dash cam though.
The dash cam didn't show what happened either.
Yeah.
You see straight ahead. You just see the car flip over.
Yeah. Well, like,
so like to call them suspects is just like, based on
because I think they're missing.
Yeah,
from
but I
the
mean, they're
scene.
missing. They're witnesses. You know, like they want to know what happened here. They want to know what they saw. But to like link them and to insinuate that like they're the ones that killed the cop, like how? You know, and like unless you were there watching it, there's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I kind of see it as the game making a commentary on, yes, that would be the rational way to think, but sometimes people don't, like institutions, people don't think in that rational kind of way. They jump to conclusions based on you know, race, background, ethnicity, like, and that might be it, saying like, oh, like we the audience going like, but they're just kids, like, and the game saying like there are times when they're just kids and it gets escalated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if I.
The other thing I wonder too is, again, when we're talking about, you know, if this is becoming more of an X-Men thing, you know, like I wonder if there's more backstory that we don't know yet.
Yeah.
That, you know, that this kind of thing is starting to happen, and this isn't like the first time people have seen this kind of thing.
Yeah, it's always from moments of grief, you know. Max sees Chloe die and rewinds time. Rachel is like dealing with her family and parent issues when she like screams and starts that forest fire. And then now Daniel, you know, sees his dad die and just erupts with emotions.
I haven't seen yet like how Captain Spirit ties in, and I haven't like looked up, you know, people saying like here's how it might tie in, or did you guys
I haven't seen anything to tie in yet other than the bear toys.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I dropped
Power
the
Bear.
cash.
Oh no.
Oh
you
yeah.
have so little money.
I was like, dude, Captain Spirit, Power
Yeah, but you
Bear,
guys had
let's
extra money, so
go.
you had enough to spare for
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I dropped it.
No.
It was like $4 or $5. I was like, dude, I'm committed.
No, I was
Just so Daniel, when he meets
Oh, sure.
Chris, is it? Captain Spirit?
Oh, I don't remember, but
I think it's Chris.
Sure.
Yeah, when he meets him, I want him to have that bond
Oh, I
with
didn't
the
even
power
think
bear.
of that.
It was like, I need it.
No, that's so smart. I didn't even think of that. Man.
So, but yeah, so that's not a deal breaker to me. That's definitely the biggest like gripe I had, but it's still, like you said, it's like that's the impetus. That's what gets them on the road. That's what gets them on the run. And so like now like what situation they're in and kind of how to make your choices going forward and be careful and figure out what to do. So after the opening credits and such, we get on the road, we're walking, and then we get into this park outside of Mount Rainier,
So rad.
and there's this car with a candy bar. Another candy bar choice.
Yeah.
Did you guys take the candy bar or leave the candy bar?
What did I do? I don't remember.
I left
I
this
think
one
I left it.
regretfully
Regretfully?
because then they mentioned bears, and they mentioned, "Yo, roll up your windows."
Right.
So the whole time I was paranoid. I was like, "Yo,
Oh, that the bear's going
Is
to
a
come
bear
and get
gonna-
the candy bar and then get you?
yeah, or something." My mind immediately went there, but reason I didn't take it was because we're not quite at that point
Yeah, we're not
Desperation.
desperate.
desperation. I'm like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold off as long as I can here to make some really tough calls because I go back to Detroit, Become Human, and I thought that was a great escalation of
The
like,
supermarket?
yeah, I was like, play it chill for now, but when push comes to shove at the end with the bus, I was like, I'm making the hardest call. I will sacrifice people. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you where I'm trying to play it ethically, but I also just haven't felt like pushed to the brink yet. Like
Yeah.
I didn't steal in the store,
Right.
in the rest stop store, and I didn't beg the family that was outside the rest stop for money. But that was also
I did beg.
Oh, you
I
did?
talked him up a little bit, and then I tried to beg, and then it did
so
not go
well.
well.
I kind of got
If
scared.
the dad weren't there, I think I would have gotten some food.
I kind of got scared, and I think that's also because I had just playing it earlier had this incident where a cop took things completely out of context and thought that I was doing something completely wrong, and then I went to talk to this family, and the dad's attitude, I thought, oh my god, is he gonna start accusing me of being like a begging like immigrant or I playing as that character, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm too scared to ask this man
Low
for
profile.
money.
Well, the one
Yeah.
thing I wondered too, which I don't know if this would make any difference or not, it kind of sounds like it probably wouldn't, but you can go and wash up in the bathroom.
I did, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what if I had washed up before I asked
No,
for the food?
I had washed. I went to the bathroom first, and
Okay.
then I washed up because I didn't know if talking to the family was going to like trigger something.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I should do everything else before I do that. So I went and I washed up, and he was still like, oh, here we go. And then after he said that, I was like, okay, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. And in the store too, I was like, it's not worth it. It's not worth taking the risk.
But with the candy bar specifically, I'm wondering if either of you guys recognize that car later.
Does the car reappear? Is it the family's car?
That's Brody's car.
Brody.
Because I noticed there was like pillow and stuff, like you could sleep
Oh,
in the
yeah.
back of that station wagon.
Got it.
I'm so glad I didn't steal from him.
Yeah. Oh my god. I've been waiting,
Does it
dude. I
does it
can't
matter?
wait.
Does he like make
I
some
don't
offhand
know.
comment?
Like I didn't steal,
Oh,
so I
okay.
don't know. Like if you don't steal, then there's no way he would have any idea.
I can't wait to talk about Brody.
Oh man,
So hyped.
is he supposed to be Seth Rogen?
I guess so.
I can tell.
My mind went there.
I also
He
think
is the best.
it probably doesn't matter, but like having like make sure Daniel uses the bathroom.
Yeah.
There and both times, yeah. Like you okay? You make sure.
Yeah, I
You know?
definitely did.
But then we get to the trail markers and the berries, and it's interesting because you have the option whether to check or just tell them to eat them, and I checked, but it was funny to me that like you check by like eating a berry.
Yeah, I thought that too.
I thought you would have just like, looked at them and known based on what your dad taught you.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, let me try. Yeah, that seems fine.
Yeah.
I noticed in the end, the choices, there is like 5% of people, like Daniel got sick from berries.
There were...
There's
The
like
second
one
batch of berries.
There's
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
bush of bad berries.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if like you just somehow missed all the other bushes and that was the first one and then you just told Daniel to eat it.
Yeah.
There was a point
Or
where...
if you just get in that video game rhythm of just like, okay, eat
Yeah.
this, you know,
Right.
you don't stop and think.
But no, even if you just even if you eat that, if Daniel's not there, like you put it in your mouth, thinking, oh yeah, no, that's toxic. So
Interesting.
I did tell him at one point, like, don't eat, not those. And I thought it was really cool because, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was like, no,
No.
not those ones.
That environment was big.
yeah,
Yeah.
The
yeah. I think
forest.
it's pretty cool to be able to like walk around, and it actually, like that's where I was the most impressed, like where I could really see like the visual upgrade
Yeah.
from the first game. Like it's still not amazing, but it looks a lot better. Everything looks a lot smoother and more detailed.
There was so there was a big fork in the road, and the trails lead down a path, the markers.
Yeah.
But then there's a path that goes down,
Yeah.
which goes to the beach and triggers
Yeah.
all of that. Did you guys go immediately down, or did you go?
I went immediately down because I thought
Me
it was a
too.
side route.
And there was I thought it was a side route too.
so
and there's
something must have been blocked ahead. I don't. Yeah.
I don't know. There's
Did you go straight at all?
Do you remember?
I don't know.
Because
If I
the
did.
markers led you straight, but then if you go down and like put Daniel down the cliff,
Yeah, you put
that's
put
when
him
you
down.
get to the river.
You help him over the little tree.
I honestly can't remember what I did there.
My OCD was like, oh, it's back up there.
Yeah, as soon as I got down the bottom of that cliff, I was like, oh wait, no, can't go back.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at the map and I just kept looking like things kind of looped back into each other.
Yeah, I bet it just kind of
Like when you were at the picnic tables, like this thing loops around the other way and it just becomes the same path again.
I do love the map element this time where, like, you can see how far you...
Yeah.
and it's
You've done.
dated in the
Yeah,
time.
I
Yeah,
love
Yeah.
that's really cool. See. Oh, so when we got to camp, we had a little race to get some logs.
Oh, yeah. Wait,
Uh,
did we race?
Yeah, there's like you can actually let Daniel win.
Oh.
Or
Oh no, I was like, yo, build the fort, dude.
Yeah, that's what
We
I
need
said.
your-
Oh.
yeah, we need your
Yeah,
fort
I was-
skills.
So yeah, so I had
Me
him helping
too.
with
Yeah.
getting firewood. So yeah, the fort. What was the fort like?
He like sets up
Yeah,
twigs.
some garbage. Just distract him. I was like, I gotta take care of business. Daniel, put twigs up.
I felt somehow more safe though. I was like, yo, these little twigs are gonna like alert us about
Yeah.
like encroaching squirrels or something.
Safe
Wait.
from the squirrels.
When you go sit on that little like cliff with him and look at the clouds,
Yeah.
like I kind of just let it linger for a
Yeah.
while.
Well, that's what I love about Life is Strange.
Yeah.
It's like it's all about just letting it linger. It's
Totally.
like you could play this game in 2 hours, but you don't want to.
To semi nitpick, because I've always loved those moments in the series, those moments of like sit on the bed and smoke a joint and listen to your music as Chloe, or listen to your mom's record as Captain Spirit. I felt like there were a ton of those moments already in episode 1. I was like, maybe scale it back. I don't want them to abuse these moments and kind of,
Make us earn 'em.
devalue them. Exactly, because like that moment when you just sit and enjoy that view is amazing, but I'm trying to remember. I
don't
think there were
feel
like
like-
3 times.
Yeah, I don't feel like there were too many, but I think the context makes it a little bit different because, as you're saying, you were listening to those old records and stuff, and here there wasn't as much of that. Like just musically, the music was more laid back. You didn't have all of these songs with people singing and stuff, and I wonder if that's something that's adjusted a little bit based on people streaming the game. Because you get all these flags and you get your streams muted and all that stuff, and so like when I went back looking at those old endings, like they were without the music. It was really awkward. It was like you see all these dramatic scenes, but there's no music because they wanted
Got
their
it.
video to earn the YouTube dollars and all that. So I'm curious if they've I'm curious why exactly they've gone with less of that kind of licensed music.
Yeah, because it did kick off with Phoenix.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
This is jarring. I was like,
Yeah.
Phoenix. All right, let's.
like that's a little bit of an older song.
But
Yeah.
it's 2016.
Well, because something
so
yeah, that's true.
Good call,
Oh,
Blood.
that's what it is.
Good call.
'Cause something I do love about Life is Strange is like the music the new music you learn from just playing it.
Yeah.
It's always a treat too. Can I throw in something?
Throw
Yeah.
it all in.
The wolves motif.
Yes.
I love it. And anytime the little like save icon pops up and it's the big wolf and the little wolf, lone wolf and
Little
cub.
cub,
Yeah.
yes.
We got his shirt.
Yeah.
We got the Porto Lobos.
Yep. And isn't there a point where we howl? Do we
Yeah,
howl?
there's a
that's
howling
right.
scene.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
Love it. It's and it's
Forgot about that.
there's something like so tragically sad about the trope of like the wolf that's separated from its pack, or like the one wolf that dies and leaves the other. And I don't know. I don't want to know how this wolf motif is gonna play out. I don't.
Yeah, I'm nervous.
I don't.
Nervous for everyone's livelihood. can't handle it.
Did you? Sorry, we may
No,
be
go
getting
for it.
ahead of it. I'm definitely getting ahead of myself.
Oh,
'Cause
okay. So
already
I'm thinking
gonna-
of that at the camp still. One thing I thought was interesting about the camp is there's a lot of stuff that you can interact with Daniel, but you have like a little bit of limited time. So this is like the only point in the game where I like restarted a checkpoint because like with the fish, when he was trying to like catch fish or whatever, like I missed that at first because I went and like it's like, oh, let's go skip stones, and like I thought that was really cool, like being patient with him to let him learn how to skip stones. But then like he didn't go back to the fishing spot. I was like, oh no, I missed that.
Yeah, I think I missed that too, and it
I-
was like a badge or a collectible, I think.
I
There's
think
a
I missed
collectible that I
both
missed
of
there for
those.
sure.
Yeah,
I don't think I did either.
yeah.
You
Missed
didn't
it.
do either skipping or fishing?
No, and now there's gonna be a situation where he has to skip a stone to like save our lives. And
It's really interesting
he's
though.
Like, no, do it.
It's sort of pushing you past the skipping scene. It sort of pushes you past the video game thing, because like a lot of times in games, like you try something and then you try it again. It's like, okay, same result. It's just gonna always be this way. And like you have to let Daniel try to skip stones like 4 times until he gets it.
The same exact thing with Power Bear. So I was all about just encouraging him to try to take his mind off things. So I was like, yo, keep trying, skipping the stone, skip the stone. Then you get to the gas station and Power Bear's there and he wants it and he like tries and doesn't get it. And it's like, no, try again, you got this. So I was all about just encouraging him and trying to keep his mind off the loss.
Yeah. The loss.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, because you have to, you have to kind of push yourself past this is a video game and like, okay, well, what would be the better thing to do? Like as a brother, like, to, like, don't give up too early, and try to like teach him that lesson while you're in the middle of all of this. And then, we talked about hanging out on the rock, and then, so the next thing is the gas station. We already talked about begging for food. But then there's these wooden bears.
Yeah, everywhere.
I was so into this.
Obsessed.
Yeah.
with the wooden
It was like
bears.
the Bear Lodge. I was like, this is amazing. This is perfect.
Yeah, and you get to see like the chainsaw in the back where like he makes them, and then there's also a poster for like him selling like an old chainsaw, and Sean makes fun of it.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, he's like, oh, these rednecks or something like that. I forget exactly.
I remember that.
Yeah, so this part I loved because it was like all about the economy. I love
Yeah,
I love
getting into the
money in
store,
video
figuring
games
that out.
so
The
much.
economy.
I love this kind of stuff. And you have to make some hard calls here. I totally bought a sleeping bag. I was like,
did
I don't
you?
want.
Did? Oh.
Yeah, I was like, I'm making this big
Oh
purchase.
no, you know what? I did too. I just didn't buy a tent.
Oh yeah, the tent was
You
like
can't
And
afford
none
it.
of
It's
us
like
stole
$60.
anything, right?
No,
Didn't steal.
Okay.
didn't steal.
Again, not at the
Though,
desperation moment.
I was
I
like,
had $10.30.
Oh, blood! I was swimming in cash.
Yeah. So because off screen they had gone to the diner at some point and gotten cheeseburgers. there.
Power Bear luxury items. It's like, let's go.
So I was like writing down. So like, okay, I was like, okay, I can get 2 hot dogs for $6.
luxury items.
He talked about bread could last them a few days for
Oh yeah, I got the
$5.90.
bread.
Got the
I got the
bread.
Mac
bread.
and cheese was
Essentials.
$4.50, and I'm like, oh man, like what can I do? And then I promised Daniel I'd get him a Choco Bar, and that was $2.
Oh my
Had to get him the
gosh,
bar.
I got that little shit, the chocolate bar too, and I was like, we could have had this mac and cheese because I had the mac and cheese, and you know what? I was over like 20 cents or $1.20, and I thought maybe this woman out of like the kindness of her heart will say, you know what? But she said no. What do you want to take out? And I was like,
Yeah. So
Right.
and then while we're exploring, we happen upon Brody.
Brody.
Who at first is like
MVP.
this dude looking at porn, like what is
Yeah.
happening right now?
Yeah, but he's the like it's interesting how they juxtapose this dude that's looking at like weird porn on his laptop and this man who carves little bear statues, and
Right.
who is the monster
Exactly.
Yeah.
in this situation, you know?
Yep. And that even ties back into like Daniel like stealing beer and smoking weed.
Oh,
It's like
Sean, yeah.
You're Sean, I mean, yeah, and it's like who is like the bad person here?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, then it was when you get to the campsite. Did you guys take beer or Coke?
beer.
You took beer.
Yeah.
So when I was at the campsite, because we took Coke, he was like, "I'm so glad I took the Coke because then you had something to give to
Yeah,
Daniel."
he was bummed. He was like, "Oh man." Beer. At least said something about like shouldn't have had this beer or whatever. Yeah. Did you take beer or Coke?
I think Coke.
I was
Nice.
like, dude, Lila, man.
Oh,
peer
and then
pressure.
did you guys
Yeah.
eat cookies or chips? I don't know. This is dumb, stupid, small details.
Chips.
Okay, I had cookies.
Wait, what scene is this?
We were.
When
I
you
mean, we were
just- when
jumping
you
back
take
to
the
the campfire.
So
Like
in the
before.
beginning, you take the food from the kitchen,
Yeah.
and then later, halfway through, you're at the campfire eating
No,
everything.
never mind then. I definitely took beer
Mm-hmm.
because that's what they wanted, and I
Yeah.
took I think I took chips
Okay.
from the. I think I picked up cookies at first in the cupboard and then put them back and took chips. I think.
I regret not taking the Halloween candy because it seems like the worst choice. But I was like, is there going to be an option later down the line where you can like use the Halloween candy to like give to some kid you meet or something?
Oh.
I mean, I didn't take it because it said do not take.
Yeah.
And I was like, I ain't gonna do that to my dad. My dad,
Oh, I
and I
didn't even
got this
know.
Halloween candy to give out. I'm gonna take it. He's not gonna have a stash to give out.
Got it.
I
Yeah.
can't. I can't do
Yeah.
that.
Perfect. Okay, I don't feel bad anymore.
Yeah, don't.
But anyways, so we're walking around the store. We're trying to figure out. So like I had way less money. So I was like, okay, so the bread was like $5.90. The mac and cheese was like $4.50. That was like $10.40, and then I had the chocolate bar. So I kind of did like what you said. It's like I'm just gonna put it all on the table and see what she says. And she's like, that's way too much. And I'm like, okay. I promised in on the chocolate bar, but like, we definitely like need real food. And I was trying to figure out what to take out. So I just took out the chocolate bar because like, okay, it's $10.40. Like that's closer. I have $10.30. That's $10.40. And she let me get by. She
Really?
like gave me that. She let me get by without that last dime.
That's
Oh.
smart. That's some smart
So-
design right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got some good food.
That's cool.
And then there's also the puppy. So,
Yeah.
I have a note here. The puppy.
yeah.
Yup.
Telling Daniel can't have the puppy. What did you?
I took the. Well, no. So
But she wouldn't let you at that point, right?
Yeah, she doesn't
Yeah.
want you at that point.
I love the puppy.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to take it, didn't, and then, at the end when you're in what's the Seth Rogen dude's name?
Brody.
When you're in Brody's like car and then you hear something muffled under the blankets and the dog after Daniel rescues him. That's
Yeah.
kind of how it played out for me.
Yeah.
Wait, is there a point where you can take the dog earlier?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I mean, when it asks whether Daniel asks whether you guys can have the puppy, and you can tell him whether or not to take it. But I think that the way that she reacts, even though I said no, like she kind of like backed me up. It's
Got it.
like no, like we need an adult to take the puppy. So
yeah.
I don't think that you could have taken
Yeah.
it at that point, anyways. But that reminded me there's a little they have these little quirks. They have these little quirks to how they talk. Awesome possum.
Some boss.
It's said a few times.
Yeah.
That's what Daniel said.
Yeah. Chloe always saying hella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
NorCal.
kind of reminds me of Over the Garden Wall, if you've seen it. Oh man. Let's talk to me after the show. Because that is also a brother. Oh man. Okay, never mind. If you're loving this, then you gotta watch Over the Garden Wall,
Okay,
man.
I'm in. I'm in.
Okay.
Hard in.
Sorry, but anyway, yeah. Brody's awesome.
Brody
He is a hero. He's great.
gives me
man.
hope for like good people in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it
Yeah,
was
because
so
you haven't
depressing.
interacted with too many good people.
No,
yet,
you're
right?
interacting with
So
assholes.
You had your dad, and then you had Brody, and then the shopkeeper's kind of in between.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's all right. But then Hank Stamper is just
Yeah, so
a monster.
him coming up.
Hank.
You're just eating. You're just eating.
Yeah. Come
And
at me, dude. I didn't steal a damn thing.
Yeah, that was. I
Yeah,
so
we'll go
thought that,
inside.
like, we're gonna go inside. She's gonna prove.
That's what I
that we're
thought
for it.
too.
Yeah.
And then he just like starts punching people.
Yeah, he just escalates
Maniac.
it. Like, yeah, and that's what it is. There's no rational.
Ties you up,
forethought.
kicks you in the face.
So you guys had a problem with the cop in the beginning and that kind of being accelerated storytelling and this one felt a little weird. I understand the theming and the messaging and the political
Well, to me, I thought he kind of probably recognized them a little bit already, like from the newspaper.
Did he does he
He definitely
mention
called the
that?
cops later.
Yeah, I thought he did. But I mean, I think it's that's the blindness of prejudice too.
Yeah.
Where this man doesn't want to ask any questions because he has this prejudice and this discrimination, and he's just gonna like act on it, and he's not asking questions.
Yeah.
Like,
references the wall,
yeah, oh yeah,
calls it out.
he was.
Well, also, I don't know if you walked over there, but like the signs by his house were like really like rude and like, you know, get off my lawn kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
It was like, hey, you know, the gas station's closed. We're closed too. Like, don't come bugging me.
Yeah.
If you need something, you know, like, it's just really, you know, kind of harsh.
not a
and, like, go
man
away.
looking out for anyone else.
Yeah.
And it's like, politics are so stupid. To me, it's just about being a good
person,
human being,
yeah.
a good person. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Just be a good, decent human. And this guy is not a good person.
Yeah, he's kind of well, and then to chain him up the way he did, it's
Like,
like
a zip tie or
Yeah, it was like
something,
hostile. It was
to
like,
a radiator or whatever,
Yeah.
pipe. It's like there's a more comfortable way to do that.
I mean,
to
all you'd have
restrain
to
a
do
person.
really would have locked him in the door and actually watched the door. You know?
Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, I man, that was a little tricky little puzzle to get those keys.
Liked
Get out
that
of
there
there.
were 3 choices. I imagine, again, later down the line in future episodes, like, what if there's a moment where it's like 8 decisions and you have a split second to like,
Oh.
because like,
Oh, you mean when he confronted you? The
Yeah.
discuss, the run, or the
discuss,
fight?
flee,
Yeah.
and fight. And because I didn't steal anything, I was like,
Yeah,
let's talk
me
this out, man.
me too.
I'll walk inside with you.
Absolutely,
I got my receipt, dude.
That's what I said. Yeah, let's show me the receipt. That's what I was gonna do.
Yeah. So he wasn't having it because he's a psycho. So things escalate.
I wonder how
and,
much more they would have escalated if you had stolen something.
Yeah, I wonder.
But at the
Or
same
if you
time, like, if you
attack-
stole something and you just ate it in front of the gas station that you stole it from, like, you kind of...
This is a rewind, but I forgot to mention it. When we fight the bully at the beginning, I thought I was gonna pop that dude and then he was gonna knock my teeth in, but we were like beating the
Yeah.
snot out of that guy. I was surprised. I was like, Sean, man, whoa,
Yeah.
'cause that bully was big.
Taking
Anyway,
boxing
so
lessons
but
or
but
something?
I do think if we had tried to fight Hank, we would have gotten like
Right.
you know
Hank is like some survivalist.
superhero,
Yeah.
super powered like serum in him.
So this all goes down, and we have the straight up Stranger Things moment where you come out. I guess that it's more Stranger Things at the end of the episode, but you come out and the place is a
It's
wreck.
leveled.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
knocked him down again. Everything's
Yeah.
a wreck.
And you have the option at this point
To
to steal
the,
that tent.
the tent, yeah.
So I was pissed. I was on edge.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't appreciate your racism and, the way you handled this. Went to go steal it at that point because I was bitter.
Yeah.
He grabs you.
No.
Whoa.
He grabs you and he's like, come here, you little shit. He's like on the ground. It asks you again. Attack and steal. So then
him
it's
the
a combo.
receipt. Show him the receipt.
I wish.
Whoa.
I wish you could go back, shove the receipt in his
Wow.
face. So then it asks you again. It's like a double down moment. It's like, okay, attack and steal the tent or run. At that point, I was like, dude, I don't want to give this guy ammo when he goes to the cops.
Yeah.
I want to make sure nothing was stolen.
Because I had assumed
No
he was
one-
knocked out.
Yeah, no, he gets up and grabs you.
Yeah.
So then I backed out because I wasn't ready for assault and battery and theft.
Yeah.
Wanted to keep my name clear.
Wow.
You know,
I didn't take the tent because I didn't want it to be traced
back.
to me in any way. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just gonna get out of
Yeah,
here.
I
Yes, I was
also
so
didn't
pissed.
take the tent, and I like, yeah, for one, like again, like I didn't want any kind of wrongdoing pinned to me, but I also was like, that thing's big. We're gonna run around with that big old box like that. That's not gonna work. Like,
Yeah, I wonder how
I don't
he
want that thing
holds it.
weighing me down. But what's really interesting to me is that at the end when they like show the percentages of people's choices,
Yeah.
they were just like you, Huber. People reacted
Yeah.
to like, I'm not gonna steal at the beginning, but now that you wronged me, I'm gonna take that thing.
Right? It's absolutely crazy, man. The way in this game.
Like gets into your head a little
Yeah.
bit.
I don't begrudge you though taking that tent.
I didn't.
You ended up
I
not
was
taking
going
it,
to.
but yeah.
They pushed me. They pushed me into that corner, dude.
But we did steal a puppy.
Well, that
Of all the
puppy,
things to steal.
that puppy needed to be
Yeah.
rescued.
I assumed
think.
the puppy followed us. You know.
Yeah,
I
and
was
that
still
place.
like, dude, we don't have no money to feed this dog. What are you gonna do?
Who knows if there was that
Yeah.
that place was gonna go up or something. That dog would have been inside. We had to.
Mushroom.
Mushroom, yeah.
Mushroom, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Oh, we're gonna have to like decide who gets food, the dog or us. Just take the food, dude. I'll starve.
Man. Yeah. Then we get a little on the road with Brody, get some backstory, get to rest a little bit. And then we have a little stopover. So I stop over at Arcadia Bay. What did you see?
Yep. At least when you were like, yeah, I wonder. You pull up. It's that moment when you're having just a beautiful heart-to-heart with Brody, and Brody is giving you the life lessons that you need to hear. He's saying, yo, you need to tell him what's going on as soon as you can.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm all in with Brody. I'm like, yep, you're right.
I'm keeping it to myself forever.
So you're having this huge conversation, and you see the lighthouse in the distance, and I knew immediately. I was like, yep. But then when you pull away, it pans down to a sign and says Arcadia Bay. What did you see, Elyse?
I think I saw that. Yeah.
Arcadia Bay?
Yeah.
Was
I
the
think
city
so.
down there, or was it just like a big empty crater?
I don't think I saw anything in the like actual
Yeah, I wonder if just nothing is there.
city.
Yeah, because we could definitely see the town and make out the town. And the,
So you saw the town.
Saw the
Yeah.
town. It's nighttime, so it's like twinkly lights, and the lighthouse is spinning around.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing like destroyed Arcadia Bay.
wonder if that question, because that question's
I don't.
worded a little weird at the beginning, whether it threw you off and you picked the wrong.
Yeah, it is. Did you? I was confused.
Did
I was
you
like, did you
sacrifice?
Wait,
sacrifice?
so you saw it level? Like the town was
No,
destroyed?
the town was there.
But didn't you sacrifice the town? For Chloe? You saved Chloe and sacrificed
I
the town,
saved
right?
Chloe,
So
so
the
I
town should be
see
destroyed.
The damn wording, man. Yeah.
No, I don't remember seeing the town destroyed. I have to go back and like.
Yeah, I'm
Wait,
curious.
no, I
this now.
didn't sacrifice the town. Okay, wait.
You sacrificed Chloe? Chloe died in yours?
My Chloe died because I'm a monster.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't. Maybe I wasn't like.
Yeah, my
hanging
Chloe
out-
died. The town was safe. I remember the wording. It was so confusing. My Chloe is gone. My Arcadia Bay.
Maybe I wasn't
lives.
paying attention. Maybe the town is destroyed. I don't remember seeing it destroyed, which would make me think that maybe it hadn't happened yet in the timeline of these games. But because wouldn't that be like a big deal?
Yeah, I feel like the town would be just
Yeah, I think
gone.
that's. I would
feel
think
like
that's
it'd be
why
a
they would ask
memorial.
you that question.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but now I need to go and look. Maybe I was just not. Maybe I was like petting Benson or something and just not
Yeah.
paying attention.
And you were
when
in
that.
that Brody
came up.
conversation. It's emotional.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what the alternative of that scene is.
What happens in Brody again?
He's just telling you to tell.
Oh, yeah.
Tell
he just
him
tell
and
yeah.
Yeah, well, we got his website now. So.
Oh yeah.
yes,
Got that
yes.
website.
Yeah, because at the end of the game, I was like, oh man, I really want to see.
I didn't write down
Brody
the name of that
again.
website. It sounded, is it a Tribe Called West or whatever?
Oh,
Yeah.
Tribe Called West. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really funny reference to all
Yeah.
things.
I think you have like something in your backpack about it or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hoping that we see him again.
I really hope.
Oh, and then we also I think within that, like, got him, like, kind of him blaming himself.
Yep.
Like, if he had just played with Daniel, like, that's nothing would have happened. If he
Yeah.
had just not shoved Daniel out of the room.
I took the blame as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have to.
It's my fault. I blew it.
You have to.
I assaulted that guy.
Yeah.
Police came and saw because, take full responsibility.
So they also they cover, the plan going to Mexico because, like, Dad owns some land down there. Talked about Mom being out of the picture very specifically. I noticed somehow in there I missed, like, 2 souvenirs. I missed the one at the campsite.
Yep.
And I missed one with, apparently, when you're playing fetch on the beach, like, there's they have the sketches of, like, where they are.
I missed that one too. But
Like,
yeah, you're
I
right.
don't. It's like, were we supposed to see something and, like, throw a stick at it? Because you can't even walk around that beach.
I was
Yeah.
really worried the dog wasn't going to come back.
Me too!
When Daniel threw it, I think, and I was like, oh no.
Because there's that grass.
Yeah, and it went pretty far, and I was like, oh.
Maybe you have to, like, throw the stick more times or something like that rather than just, like, giving it to Daniel.
Yeah.
That would have been a new problem that I did not need.
I know, right? Yeah, and then Brody hooks you up. Gives you
some
the
cash.
back-
Oh, man.
Backpack.
Yeah, when you
Backpack.
find the cash in the backpack, I'm like, this dude is such a good dude.
Yeah.
Such a good
Gives you the note. He's like, yo, I'm a better writer than I am a speaker. I was like, dude, Brody,
I get it, Brody.
I love you, man. Please come back. I'm worried, though, it's going to be just like Into the Wild vibes, where it's like you just meet these epic people along the way, but then just don't come back.
I have to imagine there's a reason we have his website. Like,
Right.
there's
Check in.
gotta
That'll
be.
probably be how he comes back. You can check in on his site and just hear his voice a little bit.
Goosebumps. Just
I know.
goosebumps all the time.
God, the drive in the rain with him too
Yeah.
was such a great moment.
Yeah.
It was like this moment of peace. He's like, yeah, I just love driving at night. Nobody on the roads. You just feel it. They're just so good at vibes and pulling you in.
Yeah. And getting into the motel is pretty cool as well. Like, they kind of get this sense of relief. They've been sleeping on rocks and dirt, and, like, oh, it's like this bed's comfy. It's like they really appreciate, even though it's a crappy motel.
Yeah.
With the old TV and everything.
I took note of that vending machine immediately when we were
Yeah.
going through, as I was like, food. There's
Yep.
food there. So then when after, you kind of go.
Yeah. And then
Loved
I watched a little TV, went out on the balcony and had a little, little contemplation there. I don't know if you did that.
Did you
I
call Lila?
I didn't.
Did not call Lila.
Oh,
Was like, this phone is gonna get traced.
I
Track
didn't. And
me,
I,
dude.
She's already
I'm
talking about
talking
the
to
cops
Lila.
asking her questions.
Huber. So it's the question of, do you want to protect her?
I know,
too, 'cause
I blew
I
it.
didn't want to pull. I didn't want to drag her into it.
I know.
Because I was
like,
like, I care so much about this person. I need to, like, it would be selfish of me to.
You're right.
That's what.
But-
Not.
what, I
But you did call her?
100%. I think in real life, I might have done that, but then at the same time, I was thinking of her perspective. Like, you didn't call me.
Yeah.
You just left. I was like, dude, she
No, I get you.
is my best bud. Gotta keep her in the loop.
I get
Come
you.
at me,
I,
please.
So what did she say?
She was just like, yo, I'm here for you. Like, everyone's looking for you. Anything you need, where are you? And I'm just like, yo, can't really. I'm pretty sure you don't tell her exactly where you are. You're like, oh, I'm at a motel. And that was pretty much it. You have your moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I was like, she
no
better
immediate,
come back,
no immediate consequences, at least.
I was like,
Yeah.
is she coming back? Is Brody coming? Like,
yes.
I need these characters. I'm so attached
That's the thing,
already.
you get
I'm
invested in
so
people really well.
emotionally invested. And it's so great because you were pessimistic coming in, and I'm not gonna lie, I was worried too. I was like, dude, Max and Chloe are some of my favorite video game characters of all time. I'm so invested in them. We gotta kind of start over here. But wow, am I already attached after
Yeah.
one episode?
This game has. I mean, I feel like Life is Strange is the Wes Anderson of video games. All the dad issues, like Chloe's dad in the first one, your dad, and it's like
Captain Spirit's dad
Spirit's
issue.
dad.
Yeah.
It is just like dads. Like
Yep.
That's how they know how to get you.
My logistical brain though, like throwing away the phone without having the opportunity to let's write down all the numbers that we at least, because nobody remembers phone numbers.
No.
Yeah.
So there's no way he remembers Delilah's phone number.
Yeah.
But so hopefully there's something happened off screen so that he knows how to get hold of her.
Because you
in
can
the
keep
future.
the phone, right? Or do you have to throw it?
I think you have to
Okay.
throw. Yeah.
Because I know Brody was like, "Yo, get rid of your phone." I was like, "Whatever you say,
Yeah.
Brody."
But we
Whatever you say.
didn't get rid of the TV though. Let Daniel watch that TV.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hot Dog Man reference there. Connected
The hot dog man came back.
universe. Yeah.
That was my biggest gripe with Captain Spirit was that hot dog man.
The phone code.
The phone code
Oh,
that
it
made
was
no sense.
So obscure. Yeah.
It's it's basically saying, go on the internet. Somebody else will figure it out.
Yeah.
That's basically how that puzzle worked.
Yeah. I looked it up. No shame. I was like, I don't know. I kept thinking of
Oh,
it,
did
though.
you dance with Daniel before talking to him, or just go straight into it?
Jumped on the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
You did.
Absolutely.
I went straight in.
I went straight into, and
I was like, I cannot keep this from you.
but then he
because-
wanted something to drink, so he went outside to the
Yep.
vending
No,
machine.
guys, I jumped
I
on
know.
that bed because that's the last the final moment of innocence. Is that last happy moment of jumping on that bed with you. That's
I grew up too fast, Elyse. I was robbed of that moment. Dang it.
I know.
I was
but
like, I gotta be an adult.
I was like, because for me, I was like, okay, we just need to do this first because this is what I want to remember us.
Take the edge off a little bit. Yeah.
But then I did go to the vending machine to face my.
So none of us really stole anything. So I'm guessing none of us had Daniel steal from Brody.
No.
I saw that in the choices afterwards.
That
Absolutely not.
was the one note I took. I was blown away. 63% of people stole from Brody.
But Daniel
and
stole.
I say, how dare you?
But no. Daniel stole, which means he saw you steal something else.
He learned
and
it from you.
Oh, so if you take the candy bar, he's like, yo, I was just
Mimicking
imitating you or
Yeah, he
something?
felt justified
It's not
somewhere
like
in it.
a question like, yo, go take something from him. It's not one of those moments.
Right.
All right.
It's like when he took the
Okay.
puppy. Yeah. I'm pretty
Wow.
sure
I'm
that's how I
sorry.
interpret it.
Sorry for calling you out. I was gonna say if you have the choice to steal from Brody after everything he helps you with, that's just crazy.
You have to play this. If you're watching this, you have to play this game as morally and ethically consistent and
Yeah.
profoundly as possible. # do it for Daniel, because he's watching and he is going to
Yep.
learn. You're his father figure now.
Yeah.
Really.
Jeez. Not to bring up another game, but Walking Dead final season is very similar because you're Clementine with AJ.
We may never
And
know.
I
how
know.
similar.
I know. But yeah, AJ's learning and watching from you as well, which is pretty crazy.
Man.
But yeah, so then we get to the end. I don't know if there's much to say, but just that final scene with,
So Stranger Things.
yeah, Daniel just, everything's flying around, everything's crazy. He's so upset that, he didn't remember and you didn't tell him about Dad. You just, played along the whole time.
When I came in and I saw it, I thought, oh yeah, the TV.
I knew the whole time that news was going to come on. I
Oh,
was
did
like,
you?
Please, can I turn this TV off? I know the news broadcast is going to come on. Knew it.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about it at all. So I didn't really see it coming till that moment where you heard all the lights and stuff and oh crap.
But guys, that stone hovering, the little end button of the stone hovering.
Oh
At the
yeah.
end?
The teaser for next episode.
Did anyone else get major X-Men 3?
Wait, what happened?
At the end, there's a little teaser after the credits, right?
Yeah.
There's a little teaser where there's a stone, a
That's
little
right.
pebble. It's
That's
hovering.
right. That's right.
In the snow.
Raining.
Yeah.
100% Magneto at the end of X-Men 3 moving the chess piece. Well, I was like, someone's seen X-Men 3. Someone
I thought you were about to say 100% Magneto making an appearance. He's gonna show up.
Well, earlier when the X-Men, what if Captain Spirit and Daniel
Yeah.
and Max are all gonna build this
Right.
force of.
I'm trying to remember where
I'm
was
here
Captain
for it, dude.
Spirit at? Do you remember the location?
I believe it was Oregon.
Like they're all Pacific Northwest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
so that's why I'm wondering, like, what's going on in Seattle? Because
Yeah.
Max was in Seattle before going back to Arcadia Bay.
Yeah.
It's in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Diaz family is in Seattle.
Yeah.
But I don't remember
Oregon.
exactly where
Pretty sure it's Oregon.
Captain Spirit was, whether he crossed paths with Seattle or what's going on.
Magneto's
The
gonna
last
show.
shot of Captain Spirit is him floating in air because Daniel stops him, saves him. Because then he looks over. He looks over and he sees the brothers standing
Oh,
there.
is that it?
Yeah.
I'd have to go
That's
back.
the
That's
very-
the one thing I didn't
Yeah,
go back and watch. I should have gone
very,
back.
very end of Captain
Ah.
Spirit, he looks over and Daniel does a little wave.
Wow.
It's like, to be continued, Life is Strange 2, and then... But again, the dates. You see the newspaper in Captain Spirit referencing the beginning of Life is Strange, of episode 1. The, mysterious circumstances, nobody knows, there's 2 dead people, one of them is a cop, so it's the cop and your dad. And, pretty sure it's November, so...
Yeah. And considering that we saw snow in that teaser, it's
Yeah.
probably the next episode.
Probably, and then you're training to use your powers, and that's why you can save Captain Spirit from falling, because you're like learning how to use them.
I wish I had bought that Captain Spirit toy.
The Power Bear,
I'm
because he
so
loves Power Bear. I was like, I cannot. I have $40.
Yeah, you had
If
to
this-
cash to spare. Yeah.
If this takes $20, I don't care.
I am so filled with regret that like you made such a great decision. I am filled with regret.
And it's just they make you commit. They really do, because those games, they feel kind of hopeless where the claw comes down and it's like, bruh, $1 each time. And I was like, man, how many dollars am I going to have to
Yeah,
pump
that's
into this
a
thing?
dollar, especially with me with only $10 left. Yeah.
Oh, $10. Yeah, Blood, you would have to fully commit.
I didn't even play it. I said no time for games. Daniel's got to grow up fast. Just the bed jump.
So, is $10 the minimum you can have? And are you forced to leave the store with food and beverage?
Oh.
I don't think the story moves forward if you don't.
You like
Get any
have
food.
to,
Because
right?
you would have
'Cause
to have stuff
Did anyone
for the
dig
man
in the
too.
trash can?
Exactly, yeah. There's a rotten apple in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think I went through the trash.
Yeah, I was like, especially because the family was like still sitting right there. I was like, this is weird. I'm not gonna dig. I'm not desperate enough to dig in the trash.
No, when the family's there, they don't let you. You can only check it when they
Oh,
leave.
okay. Got it.
And then you're sifting through. And
Do
I was
you like
oh.
hide the newspapers from Daniel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, gotta cover those up. Can't tell him yet. You probably didn't because you
I
wanted
don't-
him to know.
I don't think I missed that.
Well, there's a
There's a
there's-
newspaper stand right outside the front door of the.
that has like your
store.
picture on the front page.
Sketch.
I was like, gotta cover this.
Dude, I missed that.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about when they called them suspects. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that newspaper was pretty brutal
Okay.
on them. Man, you guys. So predictions for the next episode. You think this is going to be?
I think
Chris.
I think it's Captain Spirit
Yeah,
time,
I
episode
do think
2.
so.
Yeah.
Not sure exactly how it's all gonna play out, but yeah, I think that's when we're gonna really see those crossing paths.
Yeah, and I was just thinking on the way in, they do environments so well, just these houses, and I think of the diner in Arcadia Bay, and just these, and the party, and the school. I just love the places that they create. They feel so lived in. And I'm anticipating, and even the motel,
Yeah.
before you go inside the room, just kind of,
Brody's car and he's got stuff and he's sleeping in, and it's all detailed.
So I was just thinking of, future episodes coming down to California. Maybe you'll go to some like cool beach town, or I'm just.
But the thing
if we
is,
make it
when
that
you
far,
that's what I'm wondering though, because when you see, this preview for episode 2 and them in the snow, and it's like, well, they stopped. Their road trip has stopped for some reason.
well, maybe the weather. Maybe they were forced to stop.
Maybe, but I feel like this moment of him and Daniel being aware of what's going on, I think that's changed like his plan.
Totally.
I think now, like, his plan is off the books. We're going to be doing something else now.
Yeah, because even if you don't steal, you still kind of blew up that place. The Bear Lodge, the market. I mean.
The gas station. You
gas station,
knocked
yeah.
over some tents. Not too much. Some
Yeah.
cans spilled.
Still, it. How do you explain that?
Right.
You know. So, I wonder.
I mean, maybe we'll meet up with Captain Spirit, and then
But we
get
do have
money.
the map. The map does have like episode 1 on it, so we could still travel quite a good ways.
Yeah. I'm ready for some like zest from Captain Spirit. Like we need jolly vibes, you know.
Yeah.
But he's all depressed too. Last time we saw him, he was in tears. It's like tear fest.
I mean, because it's a side by side of these kids that had a great dad, and then Captain Spirit, not so great
Yeah,
dad.
his
Not so
dad's
great dad.
losing
Lost
it.
his mom.
Yeah.
The Diaz bros don't. You know, who knows what's up with their mom?
Yeah, that mom's gotta come into the picture.
Yeah.
They made a pretty good point of she's not in the picture, but she's alive somewhere.
Yeah.
And do you think everything is set in stone? Do you think we'll get a Max rewind situation, a do-over, if you will, or
It doesn't really lend itself to that. There's not. Yeah, we're not playing with time anymore.
Yeah.
like is Max gonna
Thinking.
show up? Like what if Max
I
shows
think
up
she-
and it
I think
is
she
straight
needs to.
X-Men and she has this power, you know, and you get into this whole thing. I'm like, well, I just want my dad back. Like, take me back.
Yeah.
Like, what if she can, because it's been years maybe now, her power's got to be growing. What if she can, like, give you, instead of rewinding, like, time for everyone, she can, like, rewind your time or something? There's a lot on the table to do.
I would
Yeah.
love those appearances to be made.
Definitely.
Well,
Chloe for you. Right?
Love
Yeah.
it. Love it.
I know, if you save Chloe, like, dude, if Chloe can be saved and show up, like, I'm replaying the whole franchise again. Like,
Right.
I'm going back, changing my decisions.
yeah, that is interesting to think about how big of a difference that makes. You know, like because I mean, what we saw or prodigiously didn't see was, Arcadia Bay. Just looking out, it's a vista. Is it there? Is it not there? But if you actually get Chloe or not in the game later on, that's going to be a huge thing. It's going to make people go back and replay it a lot.
All the way.
Yeah. But thanks, Elyse, for coming by.
Thanks so much for having me. Love doing these.
Yeah.
So
and
great.
you said you're down to do more when we get through more episodes, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you'll have me, I'd love to.
I immediately looked at Life is Strange 1, the release schedule, and it was like every 6 months, or 6 months. It was like 6 weeks or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was like 5 to 8 weeks, I think, was the gap. So, God, when it ended, I was just like, more.
So, I mean, maybe it would be November, and then they would be in November.
Yeah, maybe.
as well.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Middle of November, and then maybe January for the 3rd. Yeah. We'll see.
We will see.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. It was fun.